Hi, I'm Bob. This is my first video. So I ask that you be patient with me as I try to stumble through all of this. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a self-taught artist. I started painting with oil paints 60 years ago and have been a technical illustrator for over 35 years after spending 2.5 years in an apprenticeship. I have worked in clay, I have done lots of wood carvings, and my joy is sharing what I have learned by teaching classes such as this Paint With Me class. I will also be presenting a series of Draw With Me classes, presenting material for students to learn how to draw what they see. I have taught several hundred students over the years, and some in large groups, and some one-on-one. All that said does not make it in itself make me a good artist nor a good teacher. However, I would like to present to you what I have learned and those things that have helped me over the years. Today I'm going to paint a tropical sunset picture and will walk you through it. By the way, I have seen many videos that go super fast, and I hate those because you cannot follow along, nor can you paint with the instructor. There will be moments when I say pause the video. That is to say, so you can catch up with me. I tend to be faster than beginners, and I will try to keep you in mind. If you have questions or you want a particular picture to be painted so you can follow, email me at bobsavory@gmail.com. All right. Now I've got this yellow canvas behind me. I had decided to paint something else, but I'm going to use it for today's demonstration. And the way the canvas is sitting now is called portrait position. If you're going to do a portrait, generally this is the way you would illustrate it. Sunset is going to be landscape. That means I turn it so it's landscape. And first hint, keep a bunch of rags nearby. I keep this one clipped to my easel so I can wipe my brushes and my hands, my face, whatever I get my paint on. I'm not real careful sometimes, and I actually had to go out and buy a pair of painter's pants because I kept getting paint on my pants and my wife kept getting angry with me. So I bought some painter pants. To start our sunrise picture or sunset picture, we're going to begin with the background. It's always best to paint the background and move forward as you're doing the painting. That way you can paint over something that is already there, especially in acrylics, which is what I'm using today. Let me get my list of acrylics up. Today I'm going to use, they're all Apple brand, number 20364E light blue. With that I will use 20406 yellow, 21471 spiced carrot, 20405 antique white, and that'll be used more often than white. And next is 20403 white. The next one is 20432 nutmeg brown, then 21380 cranberry, 21482 Bimini blue is the next one. I made a mistake here. Okay. I think that puts us to a point where we can think about painting. Now, bear with me because I'm finding that as I look in this video, everything is opposite. When I move my left hand, where is it? There's my left hand. When I move my left hand, it's coming in from right side of my screen. And that really kind of throws me off. I'm not quite accustomed to this yet. So just bear with me. I'm going to start the background using Bimini blue and antique white. By the way, you don't need to paint your background with little bitty brushes. Where is it? Little bitty brushes. Okay? That won't work. I'm going to use a house painting brush because it'll cover the background. Where am I? I'll use a house painting brush because it'll cover the background much faster. Now, if you find your paint getting wet, you can spray it with a little spray, just, a little teeny squirt bottle or something. I have one around here, I just don't know where it is yet. Anyhow, I'm gonna dip in the antique white. For this, it's pretty much like painting a wall. It doesn't matter which way do you go, as long as you finish with strokes going in the same direction. And I'm not concerned about how pretty it looks right at this point. Yeah, I'm covering the whole panel. I'll try it to. I need to get more blue out there if I got more blue. That's a good thing I decided to go with Bimini also. I'll just put a little water on my brush. It should smooth going a little easier. Yeah, you can see it running if you watch it. Okay, one more. I'll be done with the blue for now. I will come back later on, at least that's the plan, to come back later on with a little different blue, and then the brush goes in the water right away, and I'll let it dry for a moment. So I'm going to pause the video so you can catch up, okay? All right, I just rinsed my brush out. I did use a different one to kind of level it up. This one's very soft, as you can see. It's nylon, and that's what I would recommend when you're using acrylics. Oil paints, you need to use a little stiffer brush, unless you're using acrylics like the golden acrylics, which come in a tube like they're pretty thick too, so you might want to consider using a soft brush with something that's going to kind of paint. We need to determine a horizon. Generally speaking, the horizon line is at eye level. But if you see where I'm sitting in relative to that painting, it's not going to work. I would have all foreground. So as the artist, you choose where your horizon is. You make it as high or as low as you want, but you have to keep perspective of what's going on. In this case, we're going to be working like it's a photograph, which is not. I mean, it's just coming out of my head. But I have seen lots of pictures, and I will paint something that is simple, that you can follow, and that will work, okay? Paint with me. Next color I'm going to use is white. White. And I'll use this brush. You don't have to use a brush this big, but I'm going to use this brush to get my horizon. Now horizon, I'm going to put mine just below center. Something like that. It's not critical. Just relax. Enjoy yourself. Now I'm going to pull this up. Now if you look at this, what you're seeing is the edge of the sea. Now the sea won't reflect exactly at the horizon like the horizon line, the white line. Now in time, it'll get some of these white highlights in there, but for now it won't. We just need to kind of blend this on up and make it light. That's getting too light, too far up. I like that. I'm going to put a little dark blue up there, and I'm going to get to a smaller brush. Talk about rinsing your brush. When you're finished with the color, rinse your brush thoroughly. You should have at least 1, maybe 2 buckets of rinse water. I would recommend 1 gallon ice cream containers. Once the ice cream is eaten and gone, rinse the container out and fill it with water. You have a first rinse, a second rinse. That way you won't be polluting all your water completely the first time around. Now I used a little teeny bowl like this. And when I dipped that big brush in there, it turned blue. The whole thing turned blue. And that's no way to, I couldn't use other colors in there. I couldn't rinse other brushes in there because it wouldn't be right. Now see this, yeah, this is too intense. I sound like Bob Ross. If you do that, so you don't have to get an ulcer over it because it won't matter. The beauty of acrylics is that you can paint over them in a very short time, and that's important. Now we're just going to leave this like it is for now. And I should have had another plate. I'm going to pause this and go get another plate. I'll have two stuff. Okay, we're back. And this is what I'm using right now. I use a styrofoam plate. You could use paper plates, anything you take on a picnic would be fine. And the reason I use these is they are disposable. Once it's done, once I'm finished painting, I'll just throw it in the trash. I don't need to save it for any reason. When you're painting with oil paints, the paint sometimes takes over a month to dry. So it's a much slower process than acrylics. So I think the next color I'm going to use is, if I can get it to come out, is this one on there? Chocolate brown. It's a little lighter than the nutmeg. If you use nutmeg and shake it, boy, just shake the daylights out of this thing. And you get a good look at the color. This is kind of a sandy beach. Oh yeah, that's a good color. But by itself, it's too dark for most cases. So I'm going to mix a little antique white with it. And we could, let's say, I think my beach will end about here and then kind of rise up a little bit. So let me get started with my palette. Now, your beach doesn't have to have a hard edge where it hits the water, because the water will wash up over the sand and the edge will really not be very distinguishable unless you're going into great detail, like some fine artists that I know that just, oh, their artwork is breathtaking, just breathtaking, gorgeous. Now, I'm not trying to get breathtaking gorgeous, I'm trying to help some people learn how to slop paint. That's what I call it. My wife hates that. She says, you're not slopping paint, you're painting a picture. Well, I'm slopping paint on a canvas so I can get a picture. And it doesn't bother me that that's what I'm doing. I have talked to other artists and asked them, how do you feel about you? Well, I'm just slopping paint. Okay, that's good with me. So, let me get to a smaller brush. This is the one I'm going to use now, I think. Wait a minute, where's the camera? Okay, there's the camera. I'll use this one, and I have another fan brush here. Let's see, is this? Yeah, that's acrylic. That's nylon, so I can use this. This is a fan brush, and this will work well for doing weeds and brush and stuff like that. So to do weeds, I'm just taking it very lightly, just touching and dragging upwards. What is that? Hang on. I must have gotten into the white a little bit. So then I'm back. So I'll take this brush, go back into the brown. I believe this is chocolate brown. I think my paint's too wet. I think I got a lot of water down in this corner. I'm dragging very lightly, but it doesn't seem to be working well. Now, let me get some more of that brown. May try a little darker brown yet. That would be the nutmeg. Now let's try that fan brush again. Oh yeah. See how that, it just, whatever the way grass grows, sometimes it grows straight up, sometimes it doesn't. Anyhow, I think that's looking all right. Wipe my brush. Rubbing that brush over this rag to get all the excess water and paint off of it. That works pretty good. Now, I think I will use the darker, the nutmeg now for the tree, or to start the tree. And there's all kinds of things we can do with a tree. Shake it. Oh yeah, that's much darker. Also starting to skim up, which means I'm probably going to have to replace my paints before long. Now, what I'm doing, let me show you. What I'm doing, I'm dipping in the paint and dabbing it. Kind of trying to saturate the brush. Now, these are my two palm trees. I'm using the fan brush. Okay, and I'm running it right up the side. That's how I'm doing it. Now, to do the palm trees, to make the palm fronds, use the fan brush. And you just drag in a curve. Like that. It's not hard. It's just, you have to use your mind. You have to think like a palm tree. What do I look like? I mean, a palm tree, you've got these leafy fronds on it. So it's easy to do. It looks like palm tree a little bit. I know, it's dark. Leaves are green. But when the sun is behind you, you know what? I messed up. I put the trees in before I finished the horizon. I'm going to wait on the trees for a little bit. I am going to go back. You know that red, that carrot color I kept getting into? Well, I'm going to use it. Use it to my advantage. There is my carrot color. And I'm going to add a little yellow to it because I don't like how intense it is. Well, they say don't put everything in the center. You know why that? Because it divides your painting into two parts. Two is boring. Always paint 3 trees. I have 2 trees. I will have a third, and then I will have some brush under that tree to hide the base. And I don't know what else I'm going to do yet. I'm just still thinking through this as we work. But we need the sun somewhere. And if I have the sun directly behind the trees, that might cause a problem. Maybe not. Let's do that. I'm going to put the sun right here. Only that's not the sun. That's not the sun at all. Started laying some color up here just to identify where the clouds will be. Sorry to keep dropping out of the picture like that. I need to put my rinse bucket up on a stool or something. And it shows me going that way, well, this way. Well, I'm going forward, but my image goes the opposite direction. That really confuses me. Not used to that. Maybe one day I'll get used to it. I don't know. Let's see. We'll try. Is that white? Yeah, I got some white. Oh, look at that. I had put a little bright white on my palette, on the brown one. You see, I'm just blobbing it on. Don't worry about it. Just big gobs of white. You're making big billowy clouds. This one's not highlighted. Yeah, paint right over a tree. Paint right over a tree. It's quite all right. Now, as you're doing the clouds, think of the big billowy clouds. Think of the way they look in the sky. That's what you gotta think about. You become a cloud. You're floating free in the sky. Not a worry no more. All you want to do is look billowy. And God will paint the light on the cloud for you. So let's just go with this thing and see what we get. I've always loved doing clouds. Not always been good at it, but I learned over time to do all right. Now clouds do not have one color. Clouds are composed of moisture. When light shines through them, they show all kinds of color. I have seen clouds that had blue, had gray, had yellow, had green, all at the same time, and it's just variations of color depending upon what the atmosphere is doing. The clouds can be magnificent things. And eventually we'll get these clouds done, and to get some definition, we will have to put, I didn't call for any black. I don't see any gray. And we'll pause this while I go find black. Okay, we're going to get a little highlight going on up here. And that's just so that the clouds will stand out. Now, technically, with the sun being down on the horizon, you're not going to get those bright tops. Notice how I keep working it. I'm blending it in, thinning it out, letting it become very transparent toward the edges. Now I'm going to add a touch of gray. Notice how I work it in. It's blending in, but it helps make the clouds stand out. Need a lot more white. And let the white and gray kind of overlap each other, give some depth and dimension to your cloud. I'm sorry I have to keep turning my back to you, but you know, what can I do? I can't be talking to you and facing that way at the same time. So, well, I can be talking to you, but I can't be talking at you. I can't be looking you in the eye. Which it looks like in this thing, I don't look anybody in the eye, not even myself, so. We'll see. There are no predetermined forms of what clouds look like. Each cloud is unique in itself, just like people. They're just like people. There are no two of us that look the same. I know I had some boys that I went to in elementary school in 5th or 6th grade. And they were twins. They were said to be identical twins, but they didn't like me because I could tell them apart. One was heavier than the other, and the other one had a gap between his front teeth. Easy to tell them apart. They didn't think so. They like to try and fool people. More white, putting some definition in here. Now, while I'm doing this, I will also bring in some yellow and perhaps some blue, just to see where we go. If I use blue, it's probably going to be periwinkle, which is also, where is it? I believe that, yeah, that's apple barrel paint as well. So everything is craft paint gotten either at Walmart or at Hobby Lobby. You can get it at Michael's. I mean, it's craft paint, acrylic paint, just things like this. You know, just small bottles. Actually, I've got large bottles too, like this. This is the white, and just do what you got to do to make yourself happy. Oh, that periwinkle, dark blue. Oh, that makes a lovely gray on the clouds. Oh yeah, that puppy makes that cloud look dark. That's better than black. Now I'm going to rinse out, move my bucket a little bit, and go back in the white, and come back over here with white. You don't want the white to be too intense, especially here. That's too intense. A little dark behind that. When I would paint clouds before in oils, I had a little more freedom, I think. It's been years since I've painted, so I'm just trying to get the feel of it again. Oh, I'm breaking off. Get some periwinkle. Just scumble it. That's scumbling. Just shaking your brush around like this. Push down on the bristles and just let it scumble. Now a little light white. When I paint clouds, generally I'm just feeling my way through. I mean, just trying to imagine what a cloud looks like. Or if I was painting in life, like, well, I'm not, I'm in my home. And if I was painting in life, yeah, I could emulate some clouds and get their shapes right. I can see this is awfully dark. You see, it doesn't take too much to tone it down real quick. These yellows are a little too bright. Now we're going to move some of that up into the cloud. Now it doesn't hurt to tie it all together this way. That's good enough. All right, I've been doing a little painting. I'm sorry. I've added some white highlights on the bottom of the cloud. Those will eventually have a little yellow in them. Not the bright orange that we had before, but a little bit of yellow. And I'm trying to work it up now. Very, very light. If you make it too light, or you make it too yellow, it won't look right. Oh, that doesn't look right. A little more yellow. And look at my bad self. I'm using the fan brush again. I'm just adding a few light highlights in this cloud to make it look more realistic. Probably this one too. I'm not real happy with that, but we'll live with it. I'm going to get my big fat brush. This one, and I'm going to put a lot of white in it on one edge. I've got white just on the edge, and this is too intense, so I'm going to come back over it. We'll live with it. I'm going to get my big fat brush. This one, and I'm going to put a lot of white in it on one edge. I've got white just on the edge, and this is too intense, so I'm going to come back over it. pause the video for now. Oh, sorry. I use this brush. Come on, where are you? There. I use this brush to lighten up the sky in this area. I'm not happy with it. I may go back and make it darker, but I need to get the meanie blue or whatever that light blue. I'll do that in a little bit. What I need to do now is to pick up some of the sky color in the water. Okay, and we'll do that. A little orange, which is the carrot color. And what I'm doing, I'm just barely touching the canvas and letting the brush kind of skip along, give the idea of waves. Okay. That's probably good enough. Now we need to get some curlers or something like that at the beach. I may do that later. That's a little bit too near the foreground. No, I just don't like that. It's too dark. I'm going to tone that down a little. Okay. Go back and get my fan brush. Basically what I'm doing, I'm throwing these brushes in a trash can that's half full of water. About a 2-gallon trash can. It won't hurt the adhesive of the glue that is used to hold the bristles in the ferrule. This is the ferrule, bristles, ferrule, handle. This handle is fiberglass, or this is rubber, very rubbery feeling, and plastic. Generally, there is some adhesive holding these bristles in place. Sometimes you run into trouble when using oil paints. If you don't use the right solvent, it will dissolve the glue and the bristles will fall out. Also, oil paints tend to be toxic, and I have decided that since acrylics are faster and work very much like oil paints, or watercolor if you wish, and it's a good medium. It's good. It's a good challenge in both areas, so it's a good way to go, seriously. Now I'm going to get back on this tree a little bit. I believe it is the darker brown, the nutmeg. I'm bringing that tree trunk back forward. I'm going to put a third tree in there, a small one. So small. I'm a little rusty with my touch, I guess. Brush is too matted. It's not working right. I don't know what the problem is. Generally, you don't want your fan brush, all the bristles sticking together. You need to have some texture. You're not going to get texture if they all stick together. You're just going to get a wide blob or something. That's that. You get a different brush. This looks like a very short-handled oil painting brush, but it's nylon, so it's kind of stiff. And maybe that'll give me what I want. Not giving me anything. I told you I'm self-taught. I'm still learning to paint, just like you. There's nothing left there on the paint. See if I can get this on. I think part of the problem is the paint was getting too dry. We'll come back with a little green later on and bring some life into these trees. But for now, we'll just leave it the way it is. Now I've got to add some brush at the bottom, just like we did over here, but it'll be brush. There'll be some grass blades, but there won't be a lot of grass blades. It'll just be a few. It's pretty brushy right there. Add a little periwinkle to that and see what happens. A few strokes over here. Don't like what I see happening. It's doing the same thing it was doing before. It's all gathering together as one brush, and instead of getting a bunch of little fine hair strokes, I'm getting a big old swap of paint, and I don't like that. Bob Ross. Okay, we're going to try to do this again. I don't feel like I'm having a lot of success. I'm not putting anything on the paper, on the palette, on the canvas. I think perhaps I've let my paint get too dry. This is only my second acrylic painting. painting with a guy who's learning, you could see all my mistakes. I make them, it's all right. We can correct them later. You make mistakes, it's all right. Don't let it shake you up. You can go back and do it later. And in the sky here, just too yellow. These clouds. Well, I can go back and add more white, just tone it down so it's not so bright. It's easy to do. It ain't beautiful. It's not too bad. I'm gonna get a rigger brush. I have one here somewhere. There's a rigger. Too close. I'm gonna point that puppy will take. I'll take a good point. I'm done with this. Goes in the trash. So I'll take a little yellow and a little white. And what am I doing? It's mixing up with all of that white. That's how you cheat. Use your finger and smear it. That works.